Triangulation occurs when your narcissist will play other people against you. Now, typically what will happen is the narcissist will go to another person. This is probably a friend, a family member, maybe a neighbor, somebody that you know at church or at school or at the workplace, and they will create a story. They will present you in a very bad light. So you will be presented as somebody who is to be demonized, maligned, discredited, always something horrendous about you that will convince this person, this third person in the triangle, that you are the bad person. And that's what it is. It's a triangle because it involves three people. There is the narcissist, of course, there is you, the victim, and there's a third person. Now, when you take a number of these triangles, triangulations, however you want to say it, but you take a number of these triangles and collectively they become a smear campaign. The narcissists are notorious for creating smear campaigns. So after they have love bombed you, got you caught in their web, taken advantage of you, abused you, and now they can no longer get supply out of you, the last squeeze of supply they try to get is to demonize you through a smear campaign. That is through a series of triangulations. So we're going to focus on each one of these little, well, think of it as a beehive. And each little compartment is a triangulation. And put these all together, you have one big beehive. So let's focus on these as individuals. What is happening when the narcissist triangulates you? Well, first of all, as we already said, he creates an army or proxies of agents of narcissists, and we need to understand why it is that the narcissist does that. There is a purpose for that, and the purpose is to isolate you from everybody. And there is a purpose for that, and the purpose is to stifle the truth. So it's not really you that he or she is isolating, but it is the truth that he or she is trying to contain. Because, as you know, if you watch my videos, you understand that the number one enemy of a narcissist is the truth. Once reality gets out there, the narcissist has nothing. Because the narcissist is an individual who basically lives a fake life. The world is a stage, the narcissist is an actor, the world's population is, everyone he knows or she knows is the audience. And the narcissist is putting on a performance, and they do it very well. They take very pride in the fact that they fool people into believing that their act is real. And the last thing they want to happen is for you to take all that apart, to reveal them for who they really are, to take off their mask, to take off their stage makeup, to remove their stage costume, to reveal them for just being an act. Well, that raises another question. Why is the narcissist acting? Why isn't just a normal person? Well, because they have this need for, what would you call it, esteem, to elevate themselves, to boost their ego. And the whole thing is designed, the narcissist's whole entire life is designed around getting supply, and supply being defined as anything that boosts the narcissist's ego. So they have a dependency on supply. Get that any way they can. And so the whole idea in the narcissist's mind about a smear campaign is not just to get more supply, boosting their ego by destroying you, but it is to isolate you and thereby isolating the truth so that they can protect their act, so they can protect their fake image, so they can continue getting supply, so they can continue their act, the world being the stage and the people in the world being their audience. That's what it's all about. And you, unfortunately, because you once fell into the narcissist trap, you are now the victim of what is going on. And again, each one of these compartments is a triangulation. So think of a smear campaign as just a large connection of triangles. So they create this buffer. The buffer made up of all these people they have convinced. And by the way, once a narcissist digs into this, keep in mind that as I'm pushing 70 years old, I've experienced this, I've learned a lot of things from it, and I've actually gone through this. So yeah, the whole idea of doing these videos is to share with you some of the things that I've experienced when I was your age. So as you go through these things, maybe you won't be taken aback the way that I was. You won't be shocked or caught off guard the way that I was. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. So the narcissist has to create this protective buffer around not only the truth, but around him. And the solution to all of this, that is the solution for you, not for the narcissist, is simply the truth. Because, as we said earlier, the truth, reality, is the narcissist's worst enemy. They've designed this whole fake play, this whole fake scenario, this fantasy world to boost their ego. It's one big fantasy world just to boost their ego. And the solution to this triangulation, each triangulation episode and collectively the smear campaign, the solution is to present the truth, because that's what the narcissist fears the worst. I like to use the example of a vampire facing the morning sun for the first time. He has to get out of it, somehow, some way, or he or she, whatever the vampire happens to be. They can't let the sunshine touch them, or I guess they evaporate. I don't know what happens to them. Well, with a narcissist, that effectively is the sunshine is the truth. Once word gets out that this person is not who they say they are, they're not the good guy, they are the bad guy. Typically, these are con people. They're grifters. They take advantage of other people for personal gain, and sometimes, that ego boost, sometimes it's literally stealing things. I mean, taking advantage of people financially, taking their money. There's a lot of stories. If you've got time to look at them, a lot of stories on YouTube about grifters. There's some people very good at this. These narcissists who make... some of them have made literally millions of dollars just scamming people, living this fake lifestyle. It's incredibly how far people can go. Now, most of the narcissists that I've dealt with just weren't that smart. They may have scammed a few $1,000s. They typically scam enough money out of people to barely survive and limp along through life, and that's as far as they get. But there are some people, hopefully you will never encounter one of these, but there are a significant number of people, like Bernie Madoff, who scam a lot of people, and they do it for lots of money. But once the truth gets out, well, think of Bernie Madoff. Once the truth got out, his Ponzi scheme collapsed. And the way that the truth got out was through documentation. But he was so good, typical narcissist, he was so good at creating this fake cover story that he was a legitimate investor that nobody would believe the truth. But eventually documentation presented itself and the whole thing fell. Well, what is true of one narcissist seems to be true of all narcissists. Doesn't matter how successful or unsuccessful, how big or small they are. Once the truth gets out, again like a vampire, they just evaporate, because there's one thing they cannot withstand, and that is reality. Reality, as you know, truth is consistent. You can try to entrap people in the truth, but the only way you can do that is through deception. You can't use truth to battle truth, because truth is just one thing. It can't battle itself. It can't fight itself. It can't dismiss itself. Truth is what it is. Reality is what it is. And the way that I like to summarize that is simply just saying is. Is what is. So present that. And that's how you battle a narcissist and their triangulation. And another solution, you probably already know this if you watch my videos, is just disassociate from these people. You don't want to get entrapped or ensnared in a big fight with a narcissist when he is involved in triangulation. Because, as I mentioned in another video last week, one of the advantages of triangulation is sometimes your good friend will actually believe the narcissist. And what you find out is this was not your good friend after all. You thought they were. And the narcissist is actually doing you a favor. There really is no advantage to getting deeply involved in the smear campaign. If you just stay away from it, don't get enmeshed with it, because, well, that actually encourages the narcissist. If you live in a rural area, you probably got a mailbox. out on the road, and sometimes someone will come along, usually a teenager, have nothing better to do, and they'll knock your mailbox off, drive by with a baseball bat. I don't know why they do this, but it happens. Now and again, they knock it off, so you go out there and you put it back, and what do? They come knock it off again. So you secure it so it won't happen, and they take that as a challenge, and they figure out a way to knock it off again. And the only way to stop this person from doing this, whoever it is, comes late at night, when no one's watching, is you got to just take your mailbox down until they go away. That's what you do with triangulation. That's what you do with a smear campaign. Sometimes you just got to stop doing it until the person the narcissist just, gives up, not getting any more supply from it, and they go away. In the meantime, you may feel devastated, but please don't, because you got to keep in mind, once again, as I said earlier, the narcissist is actually doing you a favor by revealing who your friends are, and most importantly, who your friends are not. Now on your screen, you see 2 rectangles. If you want our conversation to keep on going, let's keep talking. All you got to do is click on one of those 2 rectangles, and the conversation continues. If not, thanks for stopping by. See y'all next time.